And on Schulten, Chair of the Longhorn Region Conservation Authority, and it's my pleasure on behalf of the LPRCA staff to welcome you to our annual general meeting. I would like to advise everyone here today that this meeting is being recorded. It will be posted to our YouTube channel at a later date. Is there any conflict of interest? Seeing none, we'll carry on. Are there any additional agenda items? Seeing none, then I have a motion that the minutes of the LPRCA Board of Directors meeting held February 1st, 2023 be adopted as circulated. I mean, mover, David and Peter, and a seconder. Is there any discussion? Are there any deletions, corrections? If not, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. Next, I would like to introduce to you, I'm pleased to introduce the 2023 Longhorn Region Conservation Authority Board of Directors. Please stand or wave when your name is called. Shelley Ann Bentley, representing Haldeman County. Thank you, Shelley. Dave Bears, representing Town of Wilsonburg. Doug Brunton, representing Norfolk County. Robert Chambers, representing the County of Brandon. Vice Chair Michael Columbus, representing Norfolk County. Thomas Shelley, representing Norfolk County. Stuart Patterson, representing Haldeman County. Chris Van Passen, representing Norfolk County. Rainey Weisler, representing the municipality of Bayham and the township of Malahide. And Peter Yipma, representing the township of Southwest Oxford. And I represent the township of Norfolk. So I'd like to introduce and receive greetings from special guests. So that is next on our agenda. The Lee Brown Marsh Committee makes recommendations to the Board of Directors with respect to the management and operation of the Lee Brown Waterfowl Management Area. I am pleased to introduce the community members who are here today. Please stand or wave when your name is called. Chair Tom Haskell. And member Larry Chanda. And Lou Kozak, who is unable to be with us today. The Baptist Museum Committee developed recommendations and policies in consultation with staff for the review and approval by the Board of Directors for effective administration of the heritage site. I'm very happy to introduce the community members here today. Please stand or when your name is called. Yeah, the chair, Betty Cheney, Madeline Wilson, Julie Stone, Heather Smith, and Dean Elgison are not able to be with us today, and we appreciate their support. I'd like to introduce some special guests and ask that they bring greetings from their constituents. Jeff Helsden is here representing Bobby Ann Brady, MPP, Haldeman Norfolk.
Hi, I'm Jeff Helsden, MPP Bobby Ann Brady's executive assistant. Unfortunately, MPP Brady couldn't be here today. She had a meeting already scheduled before this one. I think she probably chose, the least important one because we know this is the most important. But unfortunately, first come, first serve. So I think I'd like the Board of Directors to know I talk to Judy occasionally when we get complaints from the public and constituents about LPRCA issues. They are usually successfully resolved, and it doesn't happen very often. That's the good thing, is that Judy and her staff are doing a good job, but we figure if we don't hear a whole lot of complaints. So we're looking forward to setting up our first meeting with Chairman Schulten and the staff and hearing the issues that you're facing today. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeff. Next, I'd like to ask Mayor Ed Ketchabon from the municipality of Bright Bayham to say a few words.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's an extreme pleasure for me to be here today. I have the dubious honor of not only representing the municipality of Bayham, but as warden of Elgin County. I extend greetings to you and the board of directors and all of the visitors in the gallery this afternoon. Bayham, as you know, has had a long and good relationship with the LPRCA, and we look forward to continuing that relationship. We know that you have challenges coming forward, not only just everyone has financial challenges, but legislative challenges. And as we work through those things together, well, we'll find a successful conclusion at the end. But again, thank you very much for the invitation to be here today. And I wish you best of luck on a good annual general meeting.
Thank you, Mayor and Warden Ketchabon. We also have Mayor Jim Palmer from the Township of Norwich with us to bring greetings.
Palmer, this is my first year as a mayor. I've been here several times before. On behalf of the Township of Norwich, we're more than happy to be part of LPRCA. We're pleased that you've chosen our account consultant to be your chairman for the second year in a row. Must be doing something good, John.
Yeah, it must be.
I'm hopeful that you have a bus tour this year. I enjoyed it in the past and seeing some of the facilities and projects you have on the go. Also pleased to see all the row of young people in the back. Has a good future for this conservation authority. Yeah, that's it. Mr. Ketchabon. You're probably in the news lately. I hope we don't ever getting news like that.
Want to trade places?
Thank you, Mayor Palmer, and the watershed tour that you're talking about is scheduled for 2023.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call on Lucas Oakley, Councilor Grant County, representing Grant County.
I'd like to thank everyone for the invitation and bringing greetings from on behalf of the County of Brant for Mayor Bailey and the rest of the council. And I'll keep things brief relative to my young age and time on council, but thank you very much for inviting me again.
Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate you being here with us today. So I'm going to turn the meeting over to our Audit and Finance Committee Chair, Mike Columbus, who is going to handle the Audit and Finance Committee agenda items.
Thank you, Chairman John. This is on. Did everybody hear me? It's not turned on yet. Okay, we got it now. We have to reject this podium. Good day, everyone. My name is Mike Columbus, and I serve as Chair of the Audit and Finance Committee. Firstly, I want to thank Aaron Leduc, who assisted me in putting this report together. And the Audit and Finance Committee met on February the 17th, 2023, with auditors Ashley Didone and Raymond Mile in attendance. At the committee meeting, Ms. Ashley Didone, audit partner of MNP, presented the audit plan and high-level review of the 2022 financial statements. MNP has issued a clean audit opinion of the authority's 2022 financial statements. MNP found that the financial statements present fairly in all material aspects the financial position of the authority as of December 31st, year 2022. The Audit and Finance Committee draft minutes for the meeting held February the 17th are included in the board members' agenda package. Ms. Ashley Didone, audit partner of MNP, has joined us today, and I will now call on Ashley to review the 2022 audit findings report. Ashley.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm just going to briefly go over a high-level review of our audit findings, which is included in the package. So for the engagement status, we have completed our audit for the year end December 31st, 2022. We do provide our independent auditor's report, and I do confirm that we were able to maintain our independence throughout the engagement. Our audit was carried out in accordance with Canadian generally accepted auditing standards, in accordance with public sector standards as well. And as Mike had mentioned, we have given a clean audit report on the financial position at the end of the year, that the statements are in compliance with those standards. I'm happy to report there was no deviation from our audit service plan that was provided, and no significant findings to provide here to the committee as well today. So thank you to management and the board, and for all your support on the audit engagement. That really helps to make our job easier. So thank you for having me, and thank you for the support here.
Thank you, Ashley, for your report. LPRCA's financial statements are audited annually. MNP of London has conducted the audit of LPRCA's financial statements, and once again, I am glad to report that management felt the audit went well. I would like to thank MNP for their services, and also extend our appreciation to Judy Maxwell and staff of the authority for all their hard work throughout the year 2022, ensuring the authorities remain in a positive financial position. Thank you, Judy, and thank you to the staff. The authority ended the 2022 fiscal year in a favorable position with an operating surplus of $1.2 million compared to the budgeted surplus of $382,757. This positive variance is primarily due to the increased demand in camping at our 5 parks, favorable timber prices, and increased interest rates, and the receipt of 4 capital funded projects. The authorities reserves grew by $985,709 to $10.85 million in the year 2022. The externally and internally reserved figures can be viewed in Schedule 3 and 4 of the financial statements. The authority continued to invest in operations in the year 2022, and we required $495,024 in tangible assets, which are outlined in Schedule 2 of the financial statements. 2022 was another successful year for the authority, and I look forward to working with the board of directors and supporting staff in the great work that they perform in the coming year, 2023. There are a few business items arising from the minutes that we have to take care of at this meeting, and I'm going to read these 4 motions out. The first motion reads, a mover and a seconder will be needed, that the minutes of the LPRCA Audit and Finance Committee's meeting held February the 17th, 2023 be adopted as circulated. A mover and a seconder. Moved by Stuart and seconded by Doug Brunton. Any discussion with respect to that motion? Those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. We will now move on to the second motion, and it reads that the LPRCA Board of Directors receives the LPRCA 2022 audit findings report from MNP LLP Chartered Professional Accountants as information. A mover and a seconder for that one, Tom Michelle and Peter Yipma. And any discussion with respect to that motion? Those in favor? Those opposed? That is carried. Thank you. The third motion we have before us reads that the LPRCA Board of Directors approves the financial statements for the year end December 31st, 2022, audited by MNP LLP Chartered Professional Accountants. A mover and a seconder, please. Dave Barris and Doug Brunton, seconder. And any discussion with respect to that motion? Don't see any hands up, so I'll call the vote. Those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And our last motion reads that the LPRCA Board of Directors approves the appointment of MNP LLP Chartered Accountants as LPRCA's auditors for the 2023 fiscal period. Mover and a seconder, Chris Chris, Van Passen, and seconded by Thomas Shelley. Any discussion with respect to that motion? See any hands up? So, those in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the auditor for auditing our records for another year, 2023. I'll pass the chair over to Mr. John Schulten.
Thank you, Mike. That's, we're very happy to have you as chair of the Audit and Finance Committee. As you notice, he performed very well. We have now, notice of formal motions, which is always, relevant to our annual meeting. And the motions are as follows: that the LPRCA Board of Directors approves the chair, vice chair, general manager, and manager of corporate services as designated signing officers for authority business for the year 2023. So I have a mover and seconder, Rainey and Dave. Is there any discussion? I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? Thank you. That's carried. The second motion is that the LPRCA Board of Directors authorize the chair or vice chair and the general manager or manager of corporate services to borrow funds as required for the day-to-day operations of the authority. I need a mover and a seconder. Rainey and Chris. Is there any discussion? Yes, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for you. Is there any limitation on the amounts that are able to be borrowed through this motion?
Judy, do you want to talk to them?
Currently, there is no, amount on that. We have never had to access, funds for the operations, but if we ever had to, we would be coming to the board for a, board support, and obviously before we enacted any, borrowing tool.
Any further discussion? Those in favor? That's carried. Third motion I have is that the LPRCA Board of Directors designates the authority chair as authority's representative to Conservation Ontario, with the vice chair designated as alternate, and further that the general manager be directed to participate on appropriate committees of Conservation Ontario and be authorized to vote in the absence of the designated representatives. A mover and a seconder. Tom and Peter. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay. Next, I will call Judy Maxwell, General Manager, to present the 2022 annual report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure today to present the 2022 annual report on behalf of all the staff of LPRCA. 2022 was not without challenges. However, we're happy to be back having in-person meetings like today, and staff's dedication delivering our essential programs and services for the watershed continued in 2022. The planning and regulation staff supported the municipalities while protecting the public from natural hazards, issuing 278 permits for development and infrastructure projects. 13 flood messages were issued through the authority's flood forecast and warning services. We completed repairs on the Norwich Dam embankment and the Deer Creek Dam concrete wing walls and spillways. They were completed in 2022. The camping season in 2022 at the 5 campgrounds was successful, and the 52 new seasonal sites at Waterford North CA were occupied, completing the season with an increase to 441 seasonal sites. The watershed benefited from 72,385 trees being planted, and 2,290 acres of cover crops were supported on landowners' properties. Forestry staff conducted invasive spray programs on 458 acres of our forest tracts, and there was 4 timber tenders awarded for 215 acres. In 2022, the authority mourned the loss of two former board directors, Sam Lamb and Leroy Bartlett, were both long-serving members with 15 and 11 years respectively, and they were great friends of the authority. LPRCA remains committed to protecting lives and property, preserving and restoring the natural heritage in the watershed. On behalf of all the staff, I'd like to thank the board members, the municipal partners, and all our partners and customers in supporting us in 2022. And we're lucky Zach is still with us, but unfortunately Zach's last day is today, but he has put together a video and he has called it 2022, a year in review. And Zach is moving on to the city of Guelph, and we wish him all the best, but here's he's put together a little slide or a little video for us. So, and also we have the booklets available with the, on the side table for anyone that would like a hard copy. Thanks.
Thank you, Judy. I have a motion that the LPRCA Board of Directors receives the 2022 annual report as information. I move in a second. Chris and Doug. Is there any discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. So now I guess I'm next. I walked in today. I said to Zach, I said, did you ask my permission to leave the LPRCA? And he said, no, I didn't. I said, did I approve it? He said, no, you didn't, but you still can. But anyway, that's some of the work that Zach does and the 2022 annual report that you all can get a copy of if you like. Is again an example of his work. And Zach, I like to thank you personally for what you did for us. It was great. Looking back, 2022 was a year of adaptation and change for the Conservation Authority. The province amended the Conservation Authorities Act and released associated regulations. I'd like to thank the present and past members of the board who have taken the time to represent their municipalities and serve all the residents of the Long Point Region watershed. I know that the staff appreciates the board's leadership and dedication to the organization. I would also like to thank the staff for their dedication this past year and for the successful delivery of many programs and services. The staff faced a lot of challenges and met the legislative requirements and deadlines with determination and hard work. The Lee Brown Marsh Committee Management Committee awarded $2,000 scholarship from the Layton and Betty Brown Scholarship Fund. The committee supported the continued management of invasive species in the marsh. I would like to thank the members for their continued guidance for the Lee Brown Marsh Complex. The Bacchus Museum Committee supported staff in the return of the fall in-person school programs. The students returned to a renovated classroom at the Bacchus Education Center. I would like to thank the committee members for their continued support. I would also like to thank the board members for their confidence in me to be your chair again in 2023. Your support is invaluable, and I should appreciate all of you. Looking ahead, 2023 will continue to be a year of adaptation and change for the Long Point Region Conservation Authority as we continue to work with our member municipalities to navigate our new reality. We will continue our focus on delivering exceptional services and experiences to the residents of the Long Point Region watershed. The next item we have on the agenda is the Stewardship Award recognition. I would like to take some time to celebrate an example of conservation excellence. Conservation works best as a group effort. The Long Point Region watershed residents benefit greatly from conservation activities undertaken by organizations, businesses, and individuals who commit to protecting and preserving our environment. Each year, to recognize the important conservation work taking place within our community, LPRCA highlights a person or group in the Long Point Region watershed who has demonstrated a clear commitment to environmental sustainability and conservation and presents them with the Long Point Region Conservation Stewardship Award. This year's recipient is Mary Gartshaw, who was nominated by both the former LPRCA chair and recent Stewardship Award recipient Paul DeCluet and the St. Williams Conservation Reserves Audrey Hagee. Mary has an extensive history of conservation effort that reaches across Canada and around the world. She has performed field research, biological inventories in Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Cameron, Banff National Park, and beyond. Here in the Long Point Region watershed, Mary has played a part in restoring hundreds upon hundreds of hectares of land in our region with native prairie grasses and wildflowers. Mary is an involved and active member of numerous environmental organizations, such as the Norfolk Field Naturalists, the Long Point Bird Observatory, and the Long Point Basin Land Trust. Mary's also worked directly with LPRCA, serving on our board of directors in 1995 and 1996. Throughout her conservation work, Mary is well known for her mentorship, going above and beyond to share her expertise and offer support to others in the field. On behalf of the LPRCA, I'm proud to present the Conservation Stewardship Award to Mary. Mary, please come up to receive your award. Congratulations, Mary.
Thank you.
Let's speak.
I'll say a few words. What I'd like to say is this on?
Yep.
Is that better? Is that I grew up in the Dundas Valley in the Hamilton area on a big farm, which was mostly forested. And my parents came to the farm, it was my dad's family's farm, and came there after the war. They both served in the Second World War and developed a small herd of Angus and a flock of Poll Dorset sheep. In fact, they imported Poll Dorset sheep, polled Horn Dorset sheep from the United States and also from Tasmania and New Zealand. So they created excellence in animal care and breeding and marketing in those two breeds, which those of you in farming know that those two breeds are the basic foundation of production of lamb and beef. If you go to Australia, it's all Angus now. So my parents always encouraged me to go just, you know, from my era, come home for dinner, but do what you like. And so I wandered around a lot in our forest and in the neighborhood. I went to University of Guelph in 1969 on the early program. And then I was in Nigeria, Cameroon, and much later Ivory Coast with my partner, Peter Carson. And finally we settled in Walsingham on a retired tobacco farm and started growing native plants because I needed to see some, to find out how to produce these things and actually start restoration. So we've worked with the Nature Conservancy and other groups in southwestern Ontario, and recently actually on the Kirtland's Warbler project in Simcoe County, which for 4 years, which successfully attracted Kirtland's warblers this year, which are a globally endangered species. So I thank everyone here for their work in the watershed, and I will continue doing plantings. And I want to thank my partner Peter for putting up with all of the various things that we do and repairs, especially equipment repairs, and thank you to Zachary for getting in touch with me. So thank you all.
Next, I have service awards presentations. Today it's my pleasure to recognize staff and board of directors for the years of service with LPRCA. Individuals are recognized for achieving 5 years of service and then for every 5 years thereafter. First of all, I would like to ask introduce Robert Chambers, one of our directors representing the County of Brant, is receiving the 15 years of service award. Robert has been a great member. We respect his perspective and legal interpretation on complex issues. Robert, please come forward. Congratulations. I have a 15-year certificate for you and Muskoka Chair.
School chair. Thank you very much, John, and thank you for the Muskoka chair. I'll set that beside my lazy boy chair in my living room. My cat will certainly appreciate it, but my wife maybe not so much. Just a couple words. I know I've had a wonderful experience, 15 years on the board of Long Point. It's been a pleasure every single year. I can remember the first year, my first board meeting, I had to travel in a snowstorm on the way to Simcoe, and one of the members of the board at that time is sitting back there, Larry Chander, who is has become a great friend and a great mentor for me over the years. And I'm happy to see him here. It's been a little bit longer than 15 years, and we may look a little older, Larry, but I can assure you that we feel just as young as we ever have been. I have noticed a few things over the years. Paul Gagnon still has the water running downhill. Tom Haskett still has the ducks landing in the marsh. And, Judy still has the organization humming like a clock. I see Brandon still has the wheel turning at Bacchus, and John has the present board well under control. Thank you very much. It's been a short 15 years, and maybe 15 years from now, I'll be getting a 30-year.
Next, I have Brandon Good. Brandon, the Superintendent of Conservation Areas, is receiving the 5-year service award. Brandon is a very valuable team member overseeing the parks, the education center, and the heritage site of Bacchus Heritage Conservation Area. Brandon is dedicated, and thank you for your years of service. Brandon, here you are. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. Thank you. It's really, I can't say how much I enjoy working. Oh, you're not volume. How much I enjoy working with everyone at LPRCA. Getting to know each of you as board members over the past 5 years has been a true highlight. Yeah, I became a lifer. I started out as a gate attendant. If you really want to count this actually makes my 14th summer working for the authority. And you know, it's been a true pleasure. I can't ask for a better manager, management team, board of directors, or any of the peers. It's a group of incredible people. So thank you, and I look forward to another 5.
No, I'm not.
I'm ahead of you this time.
Good.
Next is Dana McLaughlin, Executive Assistant, is receiving the 15 years of service award. Dana is a very dedicated employee that you could depend on to pitch in for whatever needs to be completed. Dana is a team player, very reliable and supporting the board and the authority. Dana, congratulations. Okay, so now we have to conduct a little business.
No.
Pardon me? Oh, sorry. Getting ahead of myself. So we also recognize a long-term staff member who is unable to be with us today. Bob Dudney, a marsh operations laborer, is receiving the 35-year service award. Bob has been a very dedicated and supportive employee, and we appreciate his long-term service. Congratulations to all the service award recipients. Next, we now have a few business items to attend to. Leanne Mossy, interim manager of watershed services. Please present the section 28 regulation approved permits report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair to members, LPRCA staff have approved 19 applications for development since the February Board of Directors meeting. The report summarizes the location and nature of development for each application. And there is a map following the report on page 67 that outlines where the watershed approval have been granted. This report has been provided for your information, and if you have any questions, I can help answer them.
Are there any questions for Leanne? Yes, excuse me.
Thanks, Chair. No objections, Ann and Leanne. I'm just wondering, the one at the bottom of page 64, the dredging, is there a height limit on the spoil pile, or is like, do we keep track of that? I'm just questioning as far as if there's a build-up area that cottages or homes, do we take that into consideration?
So through the chair, there isn't a limit, especially for this one, because it's in the lake flood. The mill pile will not impact flooding around there. My understanding for this application is they were gonna put it on the side and wait till it's dry and truck it away. Once it's dry.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Leanne? Seeing none, I have a motion that the LPRCA Board of Directors receives a section 28 regulation approved permits report dated March 3rd, 2023 as information. That's all 19 of them. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Rainey and Robert. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor. Thank you, that's carried. So now we have two other items of business, and one is a truck tender. And I think Aaron Leduc is going to speak to that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The 2023 capital budget was approved for the replacement of two pickup trucks in the amount of $100,000. The authority issued the tenders with three proponents submitting bids. All three bids met or exceed the requirements of the tender. One bid was within the capital budget of $100,000. Submitted from Eichenberg Chrysler for the replacement of two Ram 1500 tradesmen for $97,000 and $97,868. Staff is recommending the board approve the procurement of these two vehicles from Eichenberg Chrysler. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to take them.
Are there any questions for Aaron? Yes, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Aaron, what kind of engine are in these two vehicles? The V8, I take it it's a V8.
Yes.
Okay, and they're not diesel, just gasoline. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think they're 5.7 liter.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Peter.
Thank you, through you to either Judy or Aaron, I'm not sure, but are these trucks currently available, or is this going to be an order that has to be filled at a future date, or what is the time frame on this?
We will be in contact with the dealership as soon as this report's approved. But I'm not sure if there's going to be an order, if they actually have them in stock, so.
The reason I ask is we had a similar situation in Southwest Oxford, and what we ended up doing is actually canceling the tender and buying a truck off a lot that they had available that met the relative specifications, but you know, it wasn't exactly what we had ordered.
Yes, usually because these trucks are just a single cab, they are usually a special order for the dealerships. And but hopefully they come in quicker than that. We just received our truck that we ordered last year. So hopefully this is a little quicker.
Any further questions for Aaron? Yes, Kelly.
So I'm taking it that these two trucks are replacing two other trucks on the fleet, or is this addition to?
They are replacing two older model trucks that were deemed for replacement in our more cool.
So they're still on the road in case you have a problem with
Yes,
waiting again?
yes.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll call for a mover and seconder. Peter. And Chris. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? Thank you. That's carried. And the next item is also for Aaron, that is the lawn tractor tender.
Thank you. So the approved 2023 capital budget included the replacement of a 2010 lawnmower. The budget was approved for $18,000. We sent the tender out to 6 vendors, receiving 5 bids from the vendors. All but one of the proponents' bids met or exceeded the requirements of the tender. Staff is recommending that the board approve the procurement of the low bid from Norfolk Tractor for a 2023 Kubota. If there's any questions?
Are there any questions for Aaron regarding the lawn tractor tender? Yes, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. We've approved a number of these different tenders throughout my term on the board here and presumably well before that. A number of different suppliers, a number of different pieces of equipment. Does that create or pose any problems in terms of maintenance, having so many different brand names on site? Or, you know, in terms of parts inventory or ability to work on things, or is this mostly warranty covered items?
We have mainly now Kubota lawnmowers, but it doesn't really create a problem, but there are definitely some efficiencies when you do have the same brand for repairs and et cetera, but there is warranty, and then at the workshop, we do our own in-house maintenance on whatever we can. So, yeah, definitely having the similar brands in the fleet, there are some efficiencies for maintenance, for sure.
Any other questions for Aaron? Being none, I'll ask for a mover and seconder. Stu and Tom. So I have a motion that the LPRCA Board of Directors accepts the tender submitted by Norfolk Tractor for the purchase of one diesel mid-mount riding mower, a 2023 Kubota, for $13,500 excluding HST. I need a mover and a seconder. Dave and Mike. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. And to everyone's surprise, that concludes the 2023 LPRCA general meeting. This meeting is now adjourned.